Hi all, welcome back. Enemy Action Kharkov, German Soul Part 50. Okay, um, right, been watching back a couple of parts, no, just part 46, which was the last bit I had done before I kind of took a few days off and sort of burnt myself out a little bit. But I have recorded 47, 48, 49 until just finishing watching that, so they're still not being uploaded yet. So I was just about to release 46, watching it back, and I've spotted a mistake. So I put a big comment in the header regarding it just now when I made it public, and I'm sure a lot of you would have seen it, if not everybody that's watching. But for some reason, Grant didn't see it. And we activated the Sixth Army, and we totally ignored this guy in Izium. He is part of the Sixth Army, Grant. And I even mention it when I'm going through some of my movement methods. What's the one that checks a town if it's maybe got armour in it? Can't remember what one it is. I think it's maybe movement method 5, isn't it? I've not got things out yet and organised. And I actually point to that guy and say, oh no, he's infantry, he's fine. And I never activate him. You know how I do that with him? Well, okay, sometimes I forget, admittedly. But I hadn't forgot this time. Well, I hadn't forgot about them, I'd forgot about this one. So I turned everybody that way to say they were active units. And I'm looking and I'm scratching my head saying, why is this guy not active? And totally oblivious to the fact that he's there. No idea why. Like I say, he's not. It's not that he's hiding underneath something. It's not as if he's underneath this marker or anything. So not got a clue, and go through the whole part, which is almost an hour long, and still never spot him. And I guess it's when I moved to surround this unit with this guy that I notice it in my playthrough. I say, what about that guy there? Could he not have reached there? Because that's a move that you do in descending order, isn't it? Cause surround. And he's 13 and he's 2, and I was looking at it, I was thinking like, right, okay, why is he? And then I noticed he was sitting in that position where all my other units were, or some of them had moved, but all the active ones were showing like that, and he was not. And I thought, well, why is he not active? And I thought, well, you've clearly just forgot about him, Grant. So and then if you look at that, he could quite easily have moved 1, 2, 3, just double checking, I was just looking on. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 into there and cause the surround. This unit would not have come up here. So I'm going to try and fix this now because nothing's really happened. Well, the only thing that's happened is my last move, my last activation, which was getting these units into Lazovia. And whether there's another mechanised Sixth Army unit around here or not, nothing really changed that. It's not as if I'm gaining in from it. In fact, it's going to be harder for me to survive now because I think this unit's going to be down here somewhere. Now we're going to have to. What I think is going to happen is the odds. I checked the combat here. The odds won't have changed with that unit involved in the combat. There would be one extra chip pool. So all I can think of doing here is just randomly drawing a chip from the cup and then chucking it back in the cup, because that's been that long ago that that's the best I can do. I'm no idea about the situation of the chits and whatever. The 3 chits that were drawn in the combat were not relevant, and there was nothing. The result was nothing in that combat. But I feel like I should draw another chip, because if it does come up as a D1, then obviously I'm going to suffer. Well, I say I'm going to suffer. I kind of wanted the D1 result at the time, but because I moved on now, it's not going to benefit me. I'm just going to be retreating 1 hex or sitting there and taking a step loss. But I dare say we could get an A1 result as well. They played artillery in the battle, I think, so they had me surrounded. Yeah, anyway. Right, so what I'm going to do is, these 2 units moved first. They moved with movement method 2, I want to say, because they were the only 2 units who were able to get adjacent to German DP hex. They got adjacent to Lazovia, and at the time Lazovia was empty, obviously, but there was nothing that was proximate. There was nothing that could make a move proximate. Yeah, that's right, yeah. Yeah, we always knew this guy could do it at some point, but he was always surrounding that other unit, wasn't he? And they've not activated since. But there was no 6th Army unit that was actually proximate to the town. But these two were proximate to adjacency to the town, to the VP Hex, the German VP Hex at the time. So they moved in there. But remember, this wouldn't have been occupied at the time, so that was fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust these 3 units, and I'm going to put them back to what they were, and then going to carry it on from there, just to make sure, because I think what we're going to have is a different situation around this unit. I think the infantry guy, yeah, this guy here, yeah, I need to adjust him as well. I think he'll still move to there though as well. So, but it might be that it's different. So hopefully I can fix this without any issues. Like I say, nothing has really changed in any of this area apart from me moving these units into here. Okay, so I'm going to make that adjustment. I've got the video up there, so hopefully we can put this right. Okay, that's the situation I'm going to start it from. These 2 units, like I said, I'd moved my movement method 2. There was nothing in movement method 3 that we could do, which was open supply line. I've now got this unit active, as he should have been. And then we've got unit 1 and 2 here, and it's unit 2 underneath here that makes the move up here. But like I say, I think this guy should be doing it. The only thing I did wonder about was we are leaving that town, but I'm pretty sure there's no issues with that. We will double check it in a sec. Unit 4 is the one that moves. Sorry, he's the one that moves down adjacent to this, so I think that will still be the same, but we can see it might change that one, I'm not sure. So yeah, so like I say, there was nothing to open supply on, and this was the other unit that was involved. He was a reserve, but he'll be involved once we get to the combat. So movement method 4 is cause surround, so, and this is in descending order, and obviously I first look at unit 4, who's 1, 2, 3, 4. He's 2 hexes short of reaching here, because we realise we can surround this unit here. And this is where I miss this guy, and I take unit 2 and I move him 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, breaking zone of control 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 into their surrounding. So that's not what's going to happen. What's going to happen is unit 13 here is going to come 1, 2, and he's infantry, so it doesn't cost them across the minor rivers, 3, and then 4 into there, surrounding that unit. Now, is he opening anything up? Well, is German supply traceable to Elysium? Man, it's not, is it? And, well, there's not a German unit proximate to either, so, you know, this guy himself, there's no gap for him to go through there. Yeah, it's not a problem with him doing that. So that's what that unit would have done, and that's where my error starts, obviously. So then there's no other units to surround once that's done. We can't get around this guy. You know, there's no gap in here or in here to get through here. Hang on. Yeah, this is where things change a little bit. So, yeah, just as well, I just pause there to think about that. With that guy going there, Unit 2 is still in here. So we're now looking at possibility of Unit 2 surrounding. We've done it in descending order, so Unit 13's been checked. Oh, actually, maybe Unit 4 is going to do something different now. This could be messier then. Well, why wouldn't I have spotted? I've made a mistake again then with Unit 4, because I think this can be surrounded. If that guy goes into here, is that not surrounded? Yeah, it is. I blundered there as well then. Because, yeah, I've not even seen this. I've not even seen that. Why did I not see that? Right, give me a sec. Yeah, I didn't notice that at all, so that's more of a mess I made the things here. So just as well, we'll look back on this. So yeah, I didn't think this guy could be surrounded at all, but he clearly can. Well, he wouldn't have been able until this unit made its move into here. But I mean, that's before that move was movement method 2. We're now looking at cause and surround, which is movement method 7. So it's within the sequence to be able to do this. So this is going to make things a bit trickier. This combat's going to end up a lot worse, I think. I think I'm going to be drawing more than one chit. But I can still do that. I mean, at the moment there is some set aside chits. I don't want to mess with them, so... But there's not an awful lot. There's still plenty of chits in the cup that I could just draw from. I know it's not ideal, but to try and go back 4 parts almost to go through the chit situation, I think might be a bit ridiculous. I could have a glance at it maybe. I did do it that last time and thought it was an awful lot of work for what is a random draw at the cup. But I mean, okay, some chits might not be there, some might be there, and yeah, it's still random, isn't it? I mean, I guess I'm trying to fix it to the absolute bit that, there's not going to be any chance of any other result, but I'm still drawing randomly. Okay, well let's just say, so Unit 13 is first. Unit 4, to me, looks like he's not going down to this guy now. Oh, one of the armoured units might go down there though. That's possible. So he's going to go 1, 2 across there, and then 3 into hex 1510, and from there, don't think there's any issues. And cause surround on this guy, because before he moved there, this guy, zone of control, he's got an out hex here, obviously. But with this guy moving into 1510, he's got no out at all now. So it was causing surround that. It has not broke any restrictions there. So that's fine. So now carrying on, is there anything else that can be surrounded? The only other one could have been this, but yeah, because there's not a gap to get in here. So he's always going to have an out hex here, isn't he, this guy? So it doesn't matter about bringing these guys down. They can't get into this hex. So I don't think there's anything else surroundable. So that's fine. So then we moved on to movement method 5, so quickly skipping through these. I think this is when I mentioned about the infantry unit being up here. And I still don't click that it's a 6th army unit. I'm like, Grant, well, you're just pointing at it. There, it's there. It's got the green band. It's got a 6 on it. Come on. Anyway, so yeah. Yeah, well, this is now empty, I suppose, but there's nothing proximate to it. And with no infantry units to move anyway, these are both armoured, so it's not that we could go and relieve an armoured unit if there was any in a town. The only one we've got is this guy, but this guy's went into the town to relieve that 3rd tank unit. So he's I need to remember, I don't think he's allowed to move out of that infantry unit, is he? An infantry unit starting in a VP hex stacked with only armour units does not move by this or any subsequent method, so you can keep that one in my mind somewhere, hopefully. Right, so we've only got the 2 armour units left. I'll put these back, so 1 and 2, because I thought 2 was going to be making this move, but here we forgot about that infantry. So 6 is adjacent to German VP hex. Well, we already decided that these guys can't get adjacent to Wazovia. They've not got the movement to do it. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're one short. Yeah, they're one short. So they can't come down in here. Right, so the one short. So can't do that. Adjacent to German unit logistics hex, yeah, and I remember this, talk about it for a wee while, and I think, oh, one of these guys can get up here. And then when I read on, it says that it's targeted for the active front. No. Yeah, logistics hex for the active front and not currently surrounded. Well, he is currently surrounded, so I realised that in the end, and we don't move with that one. So, and now we come to movement method 8, and this is what this infantry unit moves down adjacent to this guy to in. But however, he's now done what he should have done. So this is in descending order as well. So it could well be that Unit 8, Unit 2 comes down and Unit 1's maybe going to, well, Unit 1 could move into here. Right, Unit 2, let's look at him. So we're wanting to move to an unoccupied hex that's adjacent to German unit and not adjacent to Soviet unit, adjacent to that same German unit. So, and then you've also got to start, when it's starting satisfying, the unit starting a hex satisfying this movement method does not move by this, and apart from 9.25. Well, neither did these guys satisfy it because the hex isn't empty. They're not sitting in it by themselves. And I'm pretty sure that's right. Michael, that was a question Michael came up with, I think, and he was wondering, but I think to satisfy the movement method, it has to be an unoccupied hex as adjacent to German unit. And when I'm looking at Unit 2 right now, this is not an unoccupied hex. And then when I look at Unit 1, I can obviously achieve the same result. So, yeah, pretty sure that's right. By all means, tell me if I do have that wrong. But so, unoccupied hex adjacent to German unit, not adjacent to Soviet unit. So, well, in actual fact, yeah. Why weren't these possible moves before? You know why? Because he was on his own. Because Unit 2 was up here. Unit 4 had decided to make a mistake and come down here as well. So there was mistakes everywhere. And Unit 1 was on his own here. And he just walked into place because he was satisfying the movement method. Remember, this guy wasn't here. So, however, that's not the case. So he can move. Unit 2 can move to. He's got some options here, I think. Okay, I think that's. Yeah, they're possible options for Unit 2 here. Oh no, hang on. That one wouldn't be. Sorry, that one wouldn't be, would it? Because Unit 1's still there. So if I went to there, I'd be adjacent to that. So that doesn't work. So it is that one though, because if he moves there, he's in an unoccupied hex that is adjacent to a German unit and not adjacent to a Soviet unit, which is adjacent to the same German unit. And also here, he's adjacent to a German unit, not adjacent to a Soviet unit, adjacent to the same German unit. Now, when Unit 4 made this move, he actually got into this hex. But this guy can't reach that because it's 1, 2 breaking zone of control and then 3, 4, 5, 6 down into there. And he'd have to cross that again. So he can't reach way down there. So there's these two options. Let's see. So it's wanting to prefer a hex adjacent to the most German units. Either of them are adjacent to one German unit. And then B, a German unit to which no Soviet unit is adjacent. That's going to be this guy then right enough. Well, that's good for me, I think. That means... no, the odds are going to go up though. So I thought it was going to be 11 in the battle, now it's going to be 12. Well, we didn't draw any 2-to-1 chit. 3, that's going to make it 3-to-1 though. We didn't draw any 3-to-1. I'm going to find out the chits we drew anyway. Okay, so Unit 2. Yeah, so he's going to prefer a German unit to which no Soviet unit is adjacent. Well, that's ruling this one out because this is a German unit to which the Soviet unit is adjacent. This one has no Soviet unit adjacent to it. So he's going to prefer this one. This is Unit 2. Now, he moves there. Now, I've been not really considering 9.25, but he can't 9.25 to any other hexes there anyway. I've already said he can't reach there, so and he's 9.25 around this. This is our target, because this is the German unit that's not got any Soviet units adjacent. So this is one of the times where if there was another German unit, if these had been beside each other, for instance, we would only 9.25 around that one, because that is our target. And it's a target unit, it's not a target hex, as we eventually got around. That was the bit I was just watching in Michael's videos now, and it got it cleared up quite nicely, actually. Yeah, that was... Well, he paused it at the time he was going asking the question as well, got the final result from John Butterfield, and then carried on, and it really... it really put it in place, so that was good. So yeah, so you can't adjust anywhere else anyway, so he's fine. And then Unit 1, Unit 1 is now going to be able to move a movement method 8 as well, isn't he? Yeah, that guy came from there, no restrictions broken. This guy's still surrounded. Yeah. So Unit 1 can now either move... well, actually, he can move into here or here, can't he? And satisfy movement method 8. No, yeah, because he's not satisfying it where he is because of Unit 4. So, move to an occupied hex is adjacent to a German unit and not adjacent to a Soviet unit, adjacent to that same German unit. Both of them would apply. Well, in actual fact, we're going to just 9.25 that, aren't we? So, yeah, in actual fact, he might adjust. Oh, I could adjust anywhere then. Yeah, in fact, I'm just going to take these away. What we'll do is I'll mark our possible hexes, because we're going straight to 9.25 with this. So it could actually end up there. It's not going to end up there because that's not an empty hex, but it's still a possible target. Yeah, so that's right, isn't it? Is that right? Yeah, because that is our... Yeah. Move to an unoccupied hex is adjacent to German unit, not adjacent to Soviet unit, adjacent to that same German unit. Yeah, we know that this doesn't apply to the movement method, but that's irrelevant now, because we now know we're going 9.25. So operational limit. A hex would cause the German unit to become surrounded. Well, he's already surrounded, so no. A hex in Soviet support, no. A hex not occupied by or adjacent to a Soviet unit adjacent to the same German unit. And so yeah, that's that's what movement 8 is doing, isn't it? So that takes away the two options, because these are both not occupied by or adjacent to a Soviet unit adjacent to the same German unit. And remember, we're talking about moving this. That's where that guy's going to move to. And then an empty garrison hex, they're both empty. Hex not occupied by an active unit, they're both that. So it would be tiebreakers, closest to unit's objective. And 6 army, well, it's going to be this one. Yeah, this is one hex closer. So it makes sense. So in actual fact, that does end up being a similar situation to what we had. And no restrictions broken. Remember, we've got this guy surrounded. He's not got any trace to anything or anything like that. Okay. Yeah, but what we're now going to have in this combat is 12, because this reserve's going to come in. Okay, so Unit 1, check for the combat, and, well, I must just go ahead. Well, let's just double check, I suppose. Well, we've got 8 to 4 now, so we've actually got 2 to 1 odds. Did we have 2 to 1 before? Oh, yeah, no, it was, because we only had one unit and it was 8 to 1, so now you've actually got 3 to 1. Ah, well, that's an automatic. Yeah, so it's an automatic. It's going ahead. Let's find out where the reserve's going to go then. Now, well, he can't go... Well, actually, can he? Remember, these guys aren't here. So he can actually go here. or here. Yeah, he could go in any hex, couldn't he? Yeah, because remember, they're not here, so we can trace up and around. So any hex is possible. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so any hex is possible. So the preference is in support, causing surround of target, is already surrounded, not across the need part, causing target to be flanked. Well, he's already going to be flanked because these two units are up. In fact, sorry, these should be attacking. Unoccupied hex, well, all four of the hexes are unoccupied. Highest hex number, 1710, there we go. So he goes in there, and that's not going to have any effect on anything that's happened after that, because I was still able to get these guys into here. Right, but there is possibly going to be a change to this combat then. That's the thing. So, well, let's just see what we had. I'm going to get the 3 chits that I drew though. I think there was 3. But there's going to be, I think there's still only going to be one more chit draw. So we've got 12 to 4. So we've got 3 to 1 odds just now. Whereas we only had 2 to 1 odds before. And we've got 1, 2, 3 chit pools at this moment. And then this is the card that we draw for the combat tactic, which is artillery. So that ups that to 4. So like I say, in the combat that I carried out, it was 2 to 1 odds with 3 chit pools. We've got 3 to 1 odds with 4 chit pools. So I'm going to get the 3 chits that we draw, and then just randomly draw 1 from the cup, I think. Okay, right. There was about 8, actually there was 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, 2, 4, 6, 8. There was 11 chits in the set-aside cup. These were 3 of them. These were 3 that were in that battle. So before this battle, there was a replenished chit drawn. The previous combat before this, there was a replenished chit drawn. So as I drew these, the cup was full, fresh. These are 3 of the chits that I drew. I've put all the other chits that were set aside back in this. I've took a note of them. I'm going to take them out after I draw this chit. My only concern is if I happen to draw one of the chits that were actually set aside, I'm going to have to think that one over if I deal with that one. But the chances of me drawing one of the 8 chits out of this lot are, I'm kind of hoping that's not going to be too high. So, right, okay, so let's draw 1 chit. And I've got a picture. Took a picture of the chits. So, right, so we needed 1 more chit draw. And remember, the odds are 3 to 1. Remember, these still don't apply. Oh, attacker armor. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, large attack was 7 to 1 on the front, with large attack in the back. Town Woods Broken was city or attack not supported on the front. So it's in a clear hex. So none of them still apply, even though that we've got 3 to 1. So here's the extra chit that I've just drawn. Right, it's a 5 to 1. Yuck, you know what? That could be one of the chits that I think. Oh my, right, okay. Okay, that's horrible. Where did that come from? 5 to 1 on the front with D2. That's a really strong chit either way, isn't it? 3 to 1 back, it's got D2 and A1. Wow, okay. Well, that's going to apply. Well, okay, that is going to change things. Yeah, the guy can still survive. He's got 2 hits on him. Right, okay, well that changes things up quite a bit. I wasn't expecting that, I don't think. I thought we might have at worst case scenario seen a hit to either maybe get a D1 or an A1, but not quite that. Okay, so, well, the result is D2 and A1. That's the only chit that applies. And nothing was taken things away. They played it was artillery they played. It was not as if they were getting to negate any hits or anything like that. So yeah, D2 and A1 then. Okay, that's the revised hits then in this battle. So yeah, I need to satisfy 2 hits. So, well, first of all, I can only really, I think I've got to retreat this way because I've got to stay in supply. I wouldn't want to retreat it that way anyway, even if I had the option. So I retreat into there to satisfy 1 of my hits and take a step loss because I'm still in enemy zone of control. And then I can't retreat to here, I can't retreat to here, so I've only got 1 choice. I retreat into here, that satisfies my 2nd step loss, and I become dispersed. So there you go, things have changed with that. Now they're going to advance after combat possibly. However, oh no, they're not. I'm just going to say they're all infantry, but they weren't, were they? Got an armoured unit. Well, yeah, it's not going to interfere with anything else though. And then, well, 1 hit to them. So they've all got 2 steps. This is the highest numbered unit. So he takes the hit for them. That satisfies their hit. Advance after combat check. We've got unit 1 here. Right, where's it going? Right, it's not forward arrow or anything. Enter for supplies, VP, primary direction, hex enabling supply, no. Cross the river and closer to jet, secondary direction, no. So it's going to be the attack hex, isn't it? Or maybe closer to, no, I don't think it is. It's attack hex anyway, so we'll advance on a 1 to 7. Right, that dice is cocked, so I'm not going to roll that again. Right, landed right in the corner. Right, a 2. To be honest, it was in between a 2 and a 6, so just as well I did roll within, or that would have looked a bit dodgy. Yeah, so it was a 2, so he advances into there. Now he's then going to auto advance a 2nd hex into here, no issues. Remember, these guys aren't here at the moment. So he advances a 2nd hex into there. That's going to be him done. I'm just going to turn him that way. Because everybody's moved. No, you know what, Grant? Let's not tempt fate. Right, so that's him advanced 2 hexes. Unit 3 into this hex is going to be the battle hex where the combat took place. The attacked hex is what I'm looking for, words. So he'll advance on a 1 to 7 because there's nobody in there. That's a 6, so yeah, he does go in there. And then this guy, again, no arrows. This is going to be the combat hex as well, the attack hex, sorry. Primary direction. Yeah, I'm just checking that. He would auto advance. Yeah, he did, that's right. So yeah, he's only going to advance because there's a unit already in there on a 1 to 3, 17 into there. Oh, he's rolled a 1. So yeah, is actually going in there. Right, and then, no, he took a step loss, right? Well, it's not. And then that would have been the impulse hole, but everybody had moved. The only... Yeah, hang on, Grant. Let's just hang on a minute. Because there would have been... Well, this wouldn't have been an attack check because we had 3 strength here. Now we've only got 2. So that failed. That was no check. What was here though? That was 4 against 3, was it not? Yeah, it was 4 against 3 there. So that mustn't have been... Yeah, because we had the infantry unit in here, didn't we? So 4 against 3. So it was 1 to 1. We must have done a check and no combat applied. Well, mind you, he had infantry. No, that wouldn't have mattered. Well, let's have a quick look at it then, just in case. Conduct attack checks. It would have been 3 against 3. Yeah, it would have been 4 against 3. Yeah, so it was 1-1. The card values are 3 for the army card, the 6 army card. Situational strength is not 2-1. No artillery barrage. And support, yeah, that's a 4. If any attacking units are surrounded, no. If any, if flanking will apply, no, or defender will be surrounded, no. Target isn't, it's not a VP hex. Combat tactics, there's no auxiliary card. That's right, there wasn't an auxiliary card, was there? No, because there would have, yeah, there mustn't have been one. And there's more than 4 cards in the dropout. So yeah, it would only came to a 4. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's the only other attack check that would have been made, but it was just the same. So impulse would have finished, man alive, 35 minutes, Grant, just to fix something. And that's where we're at now. So hopefully that fixed things. That card's done. We've got that one chit to just check, but I'm more than likely just going to chuck it back in the cup. Well, actually, if it is one of the chits that I drew, I'll probably put it in there because, yeah, I'll double check. It's one chit amongst women 60 in that, Grant, so calm down, don't worry about it too much. There's enough bigger mistakes than that going on with having to worry about what's happening to one chat. So, yeah, and the fact this guy's dispersed, we've not activated the 3rd core since, so he's still in that state. So yeah, and it wouldn't have meant that I could have maybe used him to make a dash for Wazovia because he's dispersed. We're really lucky to get this situation. I'm sure there's a few eyebrows were raised when you seen me draw, what was it? I deployed the 57 core, then I drew the 57 core card, and then the Soviets played, what, 1st Guards and 69th Army or something, and then I played the 57 card and just strolled into Wazovia. I guess there probably was some eyebrows getting raised, wondering, but I can assure you guys, I don't do that. There is no point, there's no fun in that whatsoever, so, you know, yeah, okay. Right, well, what's 37 minutes? Well, I could still do, it's my impulse now, isn't it? And we've got one more card in our draw pile, which I'm quite curious to know, because it's kind of hoping, what was I hoping for? Maybe a 2nd SS or something? Or assault coordination, maybe, because I think we'd kind of like to maybe get that guy budged out of there, because I mean, we don't want these guys going out of supply, and if I attack that guy and maybe advance after combat, well, I don't know if I want to do that right enough, but the thing is, if we attack him and pop over, they're going to activate again before the end of the turn, and something else not going to come in there and just surround us again. Well, we could leave that until the last impulse. There's the thought. Yeah. Keep that one up our sleeve, but then we need the card first, Grant. So, right, I'm just going to pause a second and sort out this chat and things, and hopefully I put fix to that. I know it was messy and took a lot of this part to try and do, but well, I'm assuming you know, you've seen what I do before. I like to try and do that if it's possible. I mean, if 6th Army had activated again and moved about, then I would have had to just leave it and just mention it. That's the best you can do sometimes. Okay, I'll be back in a sec. Okay, was on pause for a little bit there. Right, but let's just finish this part off with a quick German impulse. A quick German impulse? Are you sure, Grant? Is it going to be quick? By the time you go through all these cards and think about this and think about that, yeah. Well, yeah, you know how it goes. Okay, so there's my hand. Well, there's nothing great for the 40 core to do. There's the stack of them that's dispersed in the city, and then the other stack, but they're not in any great danger or whatever. So, and the fact this has got this special KW expedites, and we're lucky to get that actually, because it only applies on turn 4. So I mean, we might not have had this card in our hand, so we should probably take the advantage of the fact that we're going to get some reserves one turn earlier. So I'm going to set that card aside. That's not what I want to play in. Well, in actual fact, I can play this whenever I want within this turn. Really, I could do it now. Now we've got one more card in our draw pile, so I could just play this to find out what that card is. You know, if I'm definitely sure that that's what I'm doing with that card, is playing that special, then maybe I want to do that. However, there's maybe more pressing things to take care of. These are probably our concerns. Sorry, I know I've got that glare. I think I moved my lamp because I was across at that other table for a couple of days. Hang on. Well, I moved it a little bit there. Yeah, I mean, like I've said, these aren't my immediate concern. Although I've got to watch this one. I need to move the cards out of the way, really, to look at things. The fact that these are all proximate to Krasnograd, I'm not concerned with, because again, unless I'm missing something simple, we're going to find out when they activate. Because they're not targeted for the Southwest Front, they're not going to enter that VP hex. That also goes for Poltava way down the bottom here, and to some extent, regarding the Popov units for Valky here, this unit sitting outside, they're not going to go into that hex. And they might move adjacent to it, but they're not going to go in. I mean, my guess is Popov activates again, he might well move adjacent to Krasnograd, which is moving closer to his objective. But the thing we do need to concern ourselves with is if their tanks make these moves. And I remember this last activation of 69. What? That was I'm moving along. I wish I'd moved the plexi just up a little bit. It's just on the edge there. It's kind of annoying. This guy moving along in here, and in fact I'll put him down the bottom now relieves this guy, and he can go. I didn't notice it. I didn't notice the fact he wouldn't have been allowed to move, because he would allow German supply trace to the Gotnya. So now he can move, but we know he's got 2 targets down here. He's got a city. Sorry for the glare coming on there. Got a city, and they've got this town as well. And remember, if they take one more victory point, then that's us moving on to turn 5, which I know is more than likely going to happen. But, well, 99.9%, what we say? Well, I don't know. Maybe there's still a chance. Okay, you've got to keep, while they're not on 12 points, I've got to think there's a chance. So, and then of course I've got the core Rouse units, and at first my initial thought was, oh yeah, I can move them. I've got a card for them. We've got a core Rouse card. Move them strategically. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Move one into there for 5, and then move the extra 1 point in there for 6, and then have an any one unit move on the core Rouse. Obviously not in the next again impulse, and then move him into Sumi, and then that's just cover both the BPXs. But then I realised that if I take these guys away from here, this is then proximate to Valky, so that's not going to work. Because I suppose that the other thing could be is we don't know this last card in our hand, in our draw pile. I talked about, then again, I'm surrounded. I can't move any of these guys down, can I? We really need to make the attack on that. I don't see any of that really helping, do I? And we've only got the 2 units there, so I don't really know. I mean, I could move one of them down to the town and leave one of them there, and then that stops this guy being proximate. But it doesn't cover the city down the bottom, Sumi. And the thing is, it's going to take him 2 activations to get to one of these. But it doesn't matter which one, if I put a unit in here, it's still going to take him 2 activations, and he'll be able to reach Sumi. The first activation I don't know, can he get adjacent to this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, he can. Ooh, I wonder if he would come in that way then. If I knew he was coming that way, that would then mean that he would... Yeah, the thing is, then he's going to attack me. But I have a chance if he's attacking me. Don't I? Yeah. And I don't want to move these back into Valky, because then I think if Popov activate... Well... If Popov activate, he'll probably move away. If he didn't move away, though, he'd probably attack me. Yeah, but that's a point, Grant. Maybe I need to have a wee glance at maybe... I know that's getting a bit gamey, but looking at what they might do. Yeah, I get to thinking we might be okay about moving into there. Because the other Popov units are sort of in a sort of convoy here going that way. And this is where their front is, away down here. Yeah. And they need to... I mean, I'm looking at... Moving at method 1, they're not going to enter a town unless it's... sorry, they're not going to take a VP hex unless it's targeted exclusively... Well, they're going to take a VP hex, but only... move to an empty German-owned town city hex unless targeted exclusively for an active front. That's what I'm trying to say. So they're not going to go and take these. However, they're probably going to look at movement method 2, which is adjacent to German VP hex and near objective. So they're going to move to a hex closer to or within 4 hexes. Well, they're not quite at the stage where they look at the 4 hexes. They're going to move to a hex closer to their objective marker and adjacent to a German VP hex, which tells me that all these guys, I think, are going to move to Krasnograd, around Krasnograd. And also tells me that this guy is going to do that as well, because he's moving adjacent to... now he might go down to Poldova. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He would do that, though. The only way he might not be able to do that, though, if I put a Rouse unit in there, because then he's not got the breaking zone of control. He's not then got the movement to move adjacent to Poltava. But I don't really know if I'm bothered. I'm going to find something that's going to say, and then the switch is going to go on, and I'm going to go like, the bulb's going to ding. I'm going to realise where I've been not thinking straight. I still think it might be safer leaving the Rouse unit there, though, because if I do move into there, then that 3rd tank unit might well come adjacent to Valky. Then again, he's probably... Man, no, he's not. Maybe not going to be in his zone. What about this guy? 1... Oh, that's 1, 2, crossing the minor river. 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, there you go. That could be 7 strength against 2. So that 3 to 1, guaranteed attack. All they need to do is nudge me back 1. So in some ways it's maybe better, but then are they not just going to move adjacent to you and attack you where you are, Grant? Okay, well, no. The thing is, if I don't move the Rouse units now, and 3rd tank activate, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm pretty sure that's going to be his move. So then he's going to be down in there, and we're not going to be able to get into Akturka or whatever it is. And then you're just praying that they don't activate again before the end of turn. But I mean, it's possible. I think there's maybe 8 cards left. sure that's what I want to say. There are 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, eight cards left. But I mean, you're definitely going to get a third tank. I think there was some pop-off cards that have been used, and it's more than likely going to get 2 activations, I think. Because have we had any of the front cards? We had the staff car. We got really lucky with that. Okay, Grant. a quick German impulse. That's what you said. You lie. Yeah. Well, I can't see myself doing anything with this. I don't know what I'm going to do with that card, really. That could be an any one unit move if we got something else going. So we've got these 3 cards. Obviously, Core Rouse, we've been talking about that. Third core card, we've still got a bunch of reserves, which we kind of thought we might have been doing that the first impulse of the turn, but it didn't turn out that way. So I really want to use that for them, to deploy them. But they've got to deploy across in here somewhere, which doesn't help everyone. Everything's been sort of like sorted out. Well, I say everything's been sorted out. It's not quite. I mean, 6 army are held here. I mean, if they activate again, they attack. If they nudge us out of Wazovia, then that's that as well. But you know, these things might happen, but I can't. I don't think I can. There's nothing more I can do about that. But I feel like there's maybe something I could do down here. The other card is 48th Corps. Now we have the 2 guys in there. That's the only card that we've got with a chance of an attack on this guy. And yeah, and it's also got reinforced battle on the card, so I can't use it for that. And the other reinforced battle, like I said, has got that special event which we kind of want to use. We don't know what the last card is in ours, so I think maybe we need to just be finding out what that is then by doing something. Maybe we do just play that OKW expedites then for this impulse. I don't know though, because like I've said, if third tank activate, that moves to there. And some of these probably move into here, threatening that guy, maybe. Yeah, quite possibly that is their objective. Yeah, there's none of the other cards can help me do anything here. I mean, I've only got the 2 Rouse units. The 48 Panzer Corps card could repair two units, bring them back into the reserve units box from eliminated. I could do that. We've already had the primary card for them, haven't they? Yeah, we have, yeah. Yeah, we've got all our primaries. We know it's a supplemental that's left. Just thinking if I did, yeah, but no, Grant, that doesn't work out because I'm not going to be able to deploy units in this area. It's only Core Rouse units that can deploy down here. Yeah, I'm still feeling I should be using the Core Rouse card, really. It's not great, but this is kind of what I'm thinking. I was just checking strategic movement, if I can do that. Unit can't start its move adjacent to an enemy unit or garrison, that's fine. Unit can't move adjacent to an enemy unit or garrison during the activation, that's fine. The unit can't enter a Soviet-owned town or city. Strategic movement is not allowed in light, mud, ground conditions. Right, that's fine. And the infantry increases infantry movement allowance by 2 to 6. Okay, so I would be able to, and I think I can only move one of them. But I mean, if I don't do this, then he activates, he moves adjacent, he's likely to activate again, just throw one there. At least, if I do this, if I activate these, alright, activate Core Rouse, we've not got anybody else, have we? No, it got eliminated. Yeah, we've only got the 2 units, haven't we? Yeah. So activate core rouse. Strategically move this guy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into the town. Then at least if this guy does activate and he comes down to here, then his next impulse, his next activation, he's not going to be able to stroll in there. Okay. He's going to have 2-to-1 odds from the start, but at least it's going to be something. He's going to have to, I mean, we might get lucky, you know? We might be able to chuck a combat tactic in, possibly. I mean, I'd love to move them both down, but you can see that then finishes this off, so I can't do that. And I think that's, yeah, because that protects the city as well. You know, that's not going to mean he's going to say, right, I'm not going to come down there, I'm going to come down to the city, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See, he cannot get adjacent to the city, whereas from where he is just now, he can get adjacent to this town. So I'm pretty sure that's what he's going to. I mean, I've not studied everything, but once you use these movement methods, you get some idea. Generally, I kind of forget what they're all going to do, but it feels to me that that's the move he'll make. It's getting closer. It will be. It'll be closer to his army objective as well. So. Well, that's a point, yeah. Well, I mean, he can't get to Valky either, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, he's going to have to stop there. I still think he's going to go there then. But, I mean, these other guys are maybe going to come down there. Well, so I think this is right. I think I do that. I mean, the bit that's harder to decide is, do I move that unit into Valky? Or do I leave them there, or do I move them just adjacent to it? I can't really work out what the right thing to do there is. Okay, I think I've worked out that if I leave that guy there, well, no. If I move that guy into the town, then these two units are going to move the movement method 2, which is adjacent to German VP Hex and nearer their objective. So they two would come to here somewhere adjacent to it. Because Kharkov, well, actually 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, see, this guy's not going to go adjacent to Kharkov because it's not getting him closer, so he's definitely going to come down to Valky. So they two would definitely move adjacent to that if I move that guy into there. However, if I don't move him into there, they can't move adjacent to there. They can't get around, so he's actually stopping that. And I dare say if I moved him to there or there, that would... No, not there, Grant, because I think that opens a gap. Yeah, but if I could maybe move him to there if I really wanted to, but I'm not sure I see the point in that. So if I leave them there, I think they're going to skip on by. Remember, they're spearheads. Right, sorry, called away there. Right, yeah, and because these are spearhead units, I mean, I don't think they're going to try and open supply line, which is main method 3. So because they're spearhead and they're not in town cities, they're going to skip 4 to 9. A 10 would be their movement arrows, that's not going to work. And 11 would want them to move closer to their front objective. And the preference would be closest to and then adjacent to German occupied Hex with least strength, which tends to make me think that they're going to move around about this guy. So I think it's better leaving the guy there then. Because if I move into there, they're going to come adjacent to me. Then if they activate again, they attack me and just stroll into the Hex. Obviously. If I leave them there, I think they're not going to be able to get adjacent to that, so they're going to get round about me. Their next activation is going to be attack me. Okay, they nudge me back, eliminate. Or here's a thought: I retreat into Valky. Yeah, That makes total sense, just staying where I am. Not only that, I can build an IP. Yeah, I'm doing that. So, well, I'm going to do just that. I'm going to build an IP and leave that guy where he is. Yeah, because they can't come around. That's the good thing about these woods here. You know, they've not. Well, mind you, would they even have the movement? Because we've got broken hexes in front though as well, and then this guy's got to come across the minor river. He's breaking zone of control. There's not a gap here, like was said. Yeah, it's all quite. Yeah, it looks nice until us then activate them and they do something completely different. Okay, right, that's going to be my activation then. We'll go with that. And yeah, we're still hanging on by a thread, really, aren't we? So, however, we are going to get to see this mystery last card that is in our draw pile. Okay, so let's see what it is. Ooh, 48th now. I talked about that. Yeah, the fact I've got a card that could move two of them. I could move two of them from eliminated into reserves, and then that could deploy them. But, well, actually, that's not. It's not terrible. What is it? Oh, it's artillery. Yeah. I was thinking we wanted reinforced battle or assault coordination, I think, didn't we? Oh, wait a minute. We could use that for the attack. We could use that to activate them. It's a camp group card, so we could use that to activate them. In fact, we could put the camp group there, activate the A2 and activate this guy. He's probably not going to move, but he would build an IP and attack this, and then we would have that for reinforced battle, and we could reinforce with one of these stacks. They're both 10 strength, aren't they? So then we would get 10, 16 against 2, 8 to 1 odds with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chip pools. It doesn't help with anything else, but it is something that I probably want to make happen before the end of the turn so that I can trade supply. Assuming nothing else. I mean, if these third tank units start getting moving in here, and then the pop-off units get moving in here, then I might be struggling to find a supply of trays, to be honest. Okay, that's the best I can come up with. So, right, okay, I'll put this one. I'll get this one uploaded now and yeah, find out what the Soviets are going to do next. Now that was us activated core rouse. Put that up there, keep things right. Okay, right, I'll be back with the next Soviet impulse sometime soon, guys. Cheers.